What's up, guys? Today, it's Mock Draft Monday. I've decided instead of a full 1 round or 2 round or 3 round mock draft, I'm going to start doing specific teams. I'm just going to go in alphabetical order. So we get the Cardinals up first. So let's get into it. Alright. Mendoza 1, David Bailey at 2. So now we have trades. Washington's not going to do that. They don't have enough. They don't have enough overall draft capital, so we're not going to make that trade. I think here at 3 we could be looking Arville Reese. Could be looking Love. I think that would be a bit of a reach for them. I think they just have too many holes. Maui Go is a good pick to get that offensive line. Like, I have the depth chart up right here. They have Isaiah Adams and Sayamalo at guard, and then Elijah Wilkinson. I think they definitely could use a right tackle. At the same time, you have James Conner, Tyler Algier, Trey Benson. So you have decent depth for at least this year at running back. You need a quarterback. Maybe you really don't need a wide receiver. You have a decent wide receiver core here. Don't need a tight end. Don't need a left tackle. Then looking at the defense, maybe you want to bring in another defensive tackle at some point. Defensive end, I don't think Darius Robinson is really going to make that cut. Josh Sweat apparently has requested a trade. Jordan Burch is in his second year, so maybe he has a breakout. But I think you still want to bring in depth. You want to bring in more guys to compete at the edge rusher position. Linebacker, Mac Wilson Sr., he's getting, how old is he? He is 28, so he's not going to be there forever. Cody Simon's young. Zaven Collins is all right. Baron Browning has his extension. Ojulari, I think, is a free agent after this upcoming season. I think at corner, you're fine for now. Maybe you take a corner later in the draft. And I think you need a safety because you lost Jalen Thompson and you need to find his replacement long term. I don't think Andrew Wingard is going to be that long term replacement. He can probably be the replacement for this upcoming season, but I think it would be better to transition another guy in there with him. And you have Buda Baker, who is now 30 years old and a potential trade candidate at the deadline. And you have Kitten Crawford, who I think, if developed properly in who is their defensive coordinator? Nate Rollis. He is young. Don't know much about him. So he worked with the Eagles. This was a very bad linebacker room. So who knows what we're gonna see out of him in the Cardinals. But anyway, I'm gonna go Maui Goa. I think they just need a right tackle. It's the only way to fix this, to start this rebuild. And we're going to skip to the next pick. So, I see on the board Ty Simpson is still available. He got past a lot of guys. I think it is very possible that we could see a trade up with the Patriots, let's see who's on the board at wide receiver. Chris Bell, I think that would be better for them to take him in the second round if they were to take Chris Bell. Tight end, nobody. Running back's fine. Yeah. So I'm going to move up here with the Patriots. Give up 34 for 31. and probably throw in like 143, and you just do that straight up. It gets accepted, and we jump up and take. I'm not doing a trade. Go take quarterback Ty Simpson. And as we can see, the Patriots take Chris Bell. So now we're here at pick 65. If Tennessee offered this, it's very possible that they accept this, but I'm going to look at what's on the board. So up to this point, we have Francis Mauigoa and we have Ty Simpson. What are we looking for? We're looking for an edge rusher. R. Mason Thomas is available. Not a big fan of any of these edge rushers at this point. Maybe a defensive tackle. Not at this point. In the next pick, 104 would be good for maybe Dominique Orange. Big citrus there. Running back, Emmett Johnson and Jadarian Price are both available. That is a potential pick here. We see Mike Washington went to the Patriots there. Is there maybe a guard or a center available? I don't see any. Like Connor Lew, potentially. He's very young. I think we're going to accept this offer, and now let's see what these trade offers are. We got the Colts giving up 78 113. That is just not going to happen there. It's a good trade, but I'm not looking. I don't think that's realistic enough for a 12 spot jump to give up that high of a pick. I'm going to take Jadarian Price here at 66. So, we'll jump back at the next pick. So now we're here at pick 104. The Chiefs have offered 109 and 176. I think that's a very good trade offer. But to move off of this pick, however, we are going to see what is available. Unfortunately, Connor Lew did not fall. I think Jake Slaughter later if we never traded that pick, it would have been perfect. Potentially if he falls to, well, also 176. We have 183. So we'll potentially see him later. No. Defense edge rusher. Derek Moore is or Kieran Crawford. Romello Height is also here at this pick. I think we're going to accept this trade offer, and we're going to wait a couple picks, and now we're not going to accept that, and we're going to take Romello Height here at 109. I think he is a very versatile piece that can be added to this young defense. That now, if you do end up trading away a guy like Josh Sweat, you have a guy who can come in and compete with Jordan Birch to be your edge rusher 2 or potentially even your edge rusher 1. So, when is the next pick? We have 176 the next, so I'll just skip to that. Alright, so now we're here at pick 176 that we got from the Chiefs from trading 104. We got Romello Height with the first pick. We have 176 here. This is not a realistic trade offer, so we are not going to accept that from the Bengals. Up to this point, we got our tackle, we got our quarterback, we got a running back, and we got an edge rusher. I think we need to look at the interior of this offensive line. We have Fernando Carmona out of Arkansas, I think is a good player. DJ Campbell also, but he might be available at 183 or potentially at 217. I'm going to look at the center position because I think that's the biggest concern right now, and Trey Zune is sticking out to me. So I'm going to take him out of Texas A&M. That Texas A&M offensive line was very good last year outside of that Miami game. And now we're here at 183, 189, and 226. I'm going to accept this. Let's see. Bengals do that for a quarterback. Okay. All right, no trade offers here. We're just looking to add more depth. Deshaun Singleton, he's big safety, potentially. A lot of these guys are not going to get drafted. Most likely Deshaun Singleton is potentially. We're going to look at the DBs real quick. Colin Wright is a good corner. Damani Jackson is fast. Linebackers, Lander Barton. Ooh. I'm going to take Lander Barton here. Brother of Barton from the Titans. They have a lot of family in the NFL. Previously, they are a very good, just a very good family of football players. He is a huge linebacker. We can skip. Give me 1 second here. Looking at our Lander Barton, 6'5", 230. He's huge. Now, being that tall, there do come in some concerns about whether or not he's going to be able to work in coverage, just because of how tall he is, and being able to move around properly. So I think there is potential in the future that maybe he moves to edge rusher if he puts on some weight. And it also depends highly on what defense he's in. So there is potential there for a later edge rusher in his career, but I think right now he needs to develop his pass coverage skills. But I like the pick there, just having the family ties in the NFL. 217 here. What are we looking at? We already took quarterbacks, so Cade Klubnik or Drew Aller. Kind of off the board right now. Defensive tackle, Emil Wagner. Wow. That's a snag. Holy. I think that is just a mess up on this mock draft's part, because Emil Wagner is really good. I think that was kind of stupid that he fell this far. But we're going to continue to look at, first, we got Trey Zune to be center. You got Emil Wagner, and then Maui Goa can potentially be the long-term guard option. So we really don't need much more there. We got, really the only other position we need is a DB. And looking at safety, maybe Skylar Thomas. I don't know much about these guys. Maybe at corner. I'm going to take a shot on Colin Wright. Out of Stanford. Very smart corner. Good with his coverage. I'm going to actually... That's it for the mock draft here. We're going to go look up his 40 time. You're at a 4.55 at 6 foot, so it's not crazy. He has a good vert, so having a 39-inch vert is good for a corner. 4.55 is a bit you want more in the 4.4s, 4.39, 4.4, 4.41 for a corner, but I think he plays faster than that 4.55 shows. And he's smarter than most corners. I think the 4.55 is really a big reason why. And also playing at Stanford, it's not great talent. So I guess that's why he's lower. He's not going to come in and be a guy who can start on your defense, obviously, especially being drafted in this mock draft in the 7th round. But he could potentially be like just a depth rotation guy for the first 2 years of his career, and then potentially if you lose Denzel Burke some way, trade, injury, something like that, or you can even move him to safety eventually. A lot to think about there, but we're gonna let this finish and then we'll go over the full mock. Okay. Alright, so we're back with the full results. We traded away all these picks. We got a 7th round pick next year, so that's decent return on draft capital. But overall, the draft. So when we started this draft, we needed quarterback, running back, right tackle, a future guard, a center, potentially a defensive tackle, an edge rusher for competition, or with Jordan Burch, Josh Sweat, and a safety. With the size of Darius Robinson, he can move inside. You get Romello height at 109, so he can go be a guy who can compete for edge rusher spot. Maligo is going to go play. He's going to plug and play at right tackle to start the year. And Trey Zune potentially could plug and play right at center. Ja'Aaron Price, most likely going to be the day one starter at running back. Ty Simpson, potentially the day one starter. You trade up, you give up one pick in this round, or in this draft, to go move up 3 spots and go get that 5th-year option on Simpson. So I think that is very good for them. You have Emil Wagner, who can be in the long-term right tackle option. Not totally sure if he's a right or left tackle, but either way, you can move Paris Johnson to right tackle again and have Emil Wagner be the long-term left tackle if that works. Lander Barton can come in and be just competition for linebackers, and Colin Wright is going to be competition for corner and potentially move him to safety later on when you lose Budda Baker. So that's the full Cardinals draft. We're going to keep doing more of these. I'm going to try to post more often. Just keep doing more single team mocks. I think overall this has been fun. So let's keep it going.